Good morning, children. Myself name P.S. Tiwari from LP Savani Vidya Bhavan. We will continue with the subject OC, Organization of Commerce. Let's start. Yes, my dear children. In last video, we have discussed all 5 types of structure of an organization, that is linear, formal, matrix, functional and informal. Fine. In today's topic, we will discuss decentralization. Decentralization, intro, concept, meaning, definition, importance and limitations. Fine. Let's start. See, decentralization. This is the introduction part. When we study organizational structure, the following points we are supposed to emerge. The first is, some business units are such when authority is centralized at top level only and most of the decisions are taken by the top level management only. This is supposed to call a centralized method. I have already discussed this point in online class. That means centralized authority, the centralized organization is followed in small size of business unit. In small size of business unit, where the top authority can take all kind of decision related with any of the activity. Then the second one, in some business organization, the decision making is done by all the level and the certain kind of decision are taken as per the requirement of the work needed. Here, the decision taking part is done by all level of management, by the separate departmental heads, etc. as per the working need, as per the requirement. In the first step of organization, all powers rest on the upper level only. Top level authority are having all the powers to take all kind of decision related with any of the activity. That is why it is called centralized structure. But in the second type, all the power are distributed and all level have specific powers, so they are supposed to call decentralization of authority. With the help of D word, you can come to know that decentralization, that means division. Decentralization, that means division, and the work is divided among all the level, among all the departmental heads. According to the authority, they will get the power. So the first type is centralized, second type is decentralized. Now let's discuss the concept. Now, the concept of decentralization. The thought of decentralization is very important from the viewpoint of authority and responsibility. When you are giving any kind of responsibility to any of the person, to them, you have to give some of the powers to take decision, to get the work done from their workers, to get work done from their subordinates, etc. The administrators have to themselves decide whether to have centralized or decentralized power in the organization. The administrator, they are deciding where they have to follow the centralized power, where they want to follow the decentralization power in an organization. Some size, that is small size of organization, can have centralized power and large size organization have decentralization of power. This can bring the success of the organization. Small size, centralized. Large size, decentralized. On that basis, they are supposed to bring the success in the organization. Now let's move towards the meaning and definition of the decentralization. Meaning of decentralization, the delegation of power from upper to lower is in orderly manner is known as decentralization of power. Again repeating, the delegation of power, the floating of power from upper level to lower level in orderly manner is known as decentralization of power. The power flows from upper to lower in the division way is called decentralization of power. Now definition, according to Henry Fayol, to assign power to the superiors to enable distribution of work and to include in decision making process is called decentralization. Henry Sir has given the definition of the decentralization, that means to assign power to the superiors according to the distribution of the work. It includes in the decision making process is called decentralization. In this way, the allotment of decision making authority to that sphere of people who need to take decision is called decentralization of power. It does not mean that all the power are given by the upper level administrator to the lower level. It is not like that. The upper level authority are giving all the powers to the lower level of authority to accomplishment of objective. But most of the power are given to them according to the work, according to the bifurcation, according to the activity. Some sort of power allocated to them for the accomplishment of objective, and that is called decentralization of power. Now let's discuss the importance. By the mean of importance, you can come to know the decentralization. The importance of decentralization here. The success of management depends on the proper distribution of authority and responsibility. In decentralization of power, the hierarchy, non-scientifically taken decision, non-cooperation, lack of specialization and more workload, etc. can be seen. Fine. When you are continuing the business with centralization of power, that means you have to take care of all the departmental heads. All the work has been done by the top level authority only because they are liable to take decision. So the hierarchy is non-scientifical, non-cooperative and lack of specialization, plus there is, you can see, a more workload. Hence, the idea of decentralization is becoming popular. So that is why most of the business, they are accepting the decentralization of power, and it is most popular. It is acceptable in most of the criteria where you are running the large size of organization. In modern times, in the business unit, decentralization of power is seen in the majority of the cases. So 80%, I am just giving a random criteria, 80% of the organization are accepting the decentralization of power in place of centralization of power because this is more popular and acceptable. Now, importance, total 6 importance are there. First, quick decision. In the decentralization, the power who has to take the decision in that work or activity is involved completely and has the power to take the decision, and hence the decision are taken quickly and efficiently. Fine. The person, those who are assigned a activity according to their specialized criteria, easily they can take decision. That is possible. Quick decision is possible because they are expert in their particular field, and efficiently they can show their work criteria and enthusiasm because they are expert in their field. Second one, less workload on top level. As we have discussed, the work is divided among departmental heads, so the workload of top level management is less. The top level is the level where most of the policy matter related decisions are taken. With the help of decentralization of power, the decision taking authority is given to middle and lower level of management. Hence, the workload on upper level is reduced. The work of top level management is to formulate the policy, make the policy. In case of any deviation found, they can give the corrective measurement. But the work criteria they can distribute among their division of the department. So the burden, the workload is less on top level. Then the third one, increase in motivation. Due to decentralization, employees get motivation and their self-confidence increases. They are given independence on middle or bottom level, and when they see their decision becoming successful, their confidence boost. They also get the experience on how to take such kind of decision in such kind of situation. Their motivation increases because they have got the work in their particular field where they are supposed to express their best, and they have allocated the criteria where they are best. Over there, if they are giving their best, their efficiency is good, on that basis they will get the compliments from the superior authority, motivation from the superior authority, and by default it will boost their confidence to do the work, and they become experienced in their field. In any kind of situation, they are eligible to take decision. Then fourth one, increase in management ability. In decentralization, the middle and lower level employee take decision as per their power, and they are given independence for the same. Fine. In decentralization of format, the power are distributed among the different level of management, the different separate departmental heads. On that basis, they know that what to do, how to do, and they are independently, they can take decision according to the situation because they are having power. Hence, they become efficient leader. By that, they are supposed to be a efficient leader in their field. They develop their skill to do work. They can coordinate. They can develop themselves. Their skill, ability will increase, and they will learn more. They will learn more in their field. Hence, the employer take decision in different circumstances, and they increase their ability. If they are liable to take decision according to the situation, according to the circumstances, that means they can increase their ability as well. In this way, the future managers emerge. If they are best in their field, they are building up themselves, so they are preparing themselves to be a manager, to be a future manager, according to their experience, according to their ability, according to their increasing efficiency, etc. It will increase the management ability. Then fifth one, efficient control, effective control. The managers of all the level have enough power so they can exercise control on the level in which the employee commits mistakes. They can take disciplinary action which become easy for them, and hence an effective control is maintained. Short and simple, if they are comfortable with the atmosphere, they are good in their particular field, and they can look after, they can exercise the activity. Over there, they can do the controlling part also. If any employee commits mistake at that particular situation, they can take disciplinary action. They can control the situation, and the process of controlling is also can be acceptable if they are comfort and they are eligible. In this way, effectively, they can control the situation. Then the last point for importance of decentralization, sixth one, harmony is created. Due to decentralization, all the level employee are included in the decision making process because we are giving power to all of them according to their ability, according to their position. They are also given due importance. We are giving importance to all after observing them. So, all the level of officers and employee, that is decision maker, and the followers, they discuss things and take proper decision. In the process, one group comes in contact with the other group. See, here I would like to give the example. Suppose production department, sales department, and marketing department, they all are correlating with each other. The production department will get the information from the marketing department how much production they have to do, and the marketing department will discuss with the sales department how much sale you have done. Fine. So all the department are correlating with each other. On that basis, here you can see the harmonious relation creating among the staff, among the group, because one group is interrelated with other one. How production manager come to know that how much production they have to do? How sales manager come to know that production department is going according to the sales demand in the market, and how marketing manager can come to know that how much supply they have to give according to the demand. So short and simple, demand and supply, production, purchase and sell, all are interrelated point, and all manager are interrelated with each other. All group are coming under contact of each other, and in this way they are creating the harmonious relation among themselves, but with the help of decentralization of power. They all are having the separate power to take decision in their field. In this way, an environment of harmony can created. By this way, you can see the harmonious environment in an organization. Now this is the last point for today's lecture, that is limitation of decentralization. So many limitations are not there, only some points are there. Here you can see on your screen the place where the organization is running on a very small scale and the business secrets are to be maintained with great vigilance. In this case, decentralization cannot be accepted. Where you want to keep the secrets, where you want to keep the secrecy maintenance, at that stage decentralization is not acceptable, because in decentralization of method, all departmental heads are correlating with each other. They are discussing with each other. On that basis, they are accomplishing the target which is given by the top level authority. But in decentralization of method, if they will discuss with each other, how they are supposed to maintain the secrecy of the business? That is not possible. So, the maintenance of secrecy is not possible. This is the great limitation of this decentralization of power. Sometime, due to the common policy not implemented or coordination not maintained properly, decentralization is not successful. Now, second limitation of decentralization of power is if they are not correlating with each other, if they are not comfortable to work with each other, then the decentralization of power is not supposed to successful. If marketing manager is not comfortable with the sales manager is not comfortable with the production department, so there is a problem, there is a barriers among themselves. So on that basis, the successful of decentralization method is not possible at all. So two limitations are there. One is maintenance of secrecy is not possible. Second, if coordination is not there, the success of decentralization method is not possible. Fine. So here we have done all the points which is relates with the decentralization: intro, concept, meaning, definition, importance and limitations. Fine. Hope so you all are doing the revision for the same, and in next video we'll discuss the delegation of authority. Thank you for the day, children. Bye bye. Have a great day.